Have you ever observed someone's behavior and thought, well, obviously they're acting that way because of invisible fucking demons? If so, the Thaumaturge is here to loosely validate your theory in the form of a third-person supernatural detective game. It inserts you into the past at the very start of the previous century when you weren't even a concept in the grand scheme of things. It's Eastern Europe, it's cold, and if you didn't have an empire by this point, then all the other countries thought you were a loser. But sucks for them, because demons are floating around like shoulder monkeys with cloud wings, screwing up the status quo and making people act cray-cray. Almost choked on my tongue there. First off, even though this takes place in an important period of history, try not to look too closely at it if you want to fully enjoy the game. Alternatively, if you're curious about how accurate the game is, then look it up and teach yourself something. Tompkins. Or whatever your last name is. The takeaway is that it's 1905, you're in Poland, and there are demons as well as hostilities between the locals and their current empirical landlords. Gee, what a surprise. You're slipping into the finely cobbled shoes of Viktor Szulski, who on top of coming from a wealthy and upstanding family, also has superpowers which make him very popular at parties. But he has daddy issues and trouble sleeping, so he's not unrelatable. Viktor is a Thaumaturge, which I'll be quick to say is defined as a worker of wonders and performer of miracles, a magician. That doesn't sound badass though, so instead I'm gonna go with demon wizard. Anyway, our fancy boy devil conjurer is taken on a journey across the world after he loses touch with his demon buddy, Upir, and does what any person seeking a mystical cure would do. Seek out Rasputin! Within seconds, you guys become BFFs as he becomes your tranquilizer and helps you bring the various demons under your control. Basically, if Viktor is the trainer, Rasputin is the Pokeball. Speaking of balls of the Poke variety, that's kind of what you're in for. Instead of being interrupted by little buggers every few seconds while walking down the street, you face off against one demon package with some sort of social event or sensitive scenario. This involves you finding who the demon belongs to, intentionally upsetting them by calling them names, you meanie, and entering a trippy mind fight by pulling the demon out of their crack that appears on their chest, you disgusting creep. Then you take your sleep-deprived ass to Raz, not that one, for a little pep talk and a new demonic psychic. And you definitely will need all the sidekicks you can tame because of all the fighting that lies in your future. While wandering around the contained hub areas, you may incur the ire of the local ruffians, thieves, gangsters, bigots, or bored drunk guys. It's just you and your demon posse against every boy's night out. Despite most of them being normal dudes, they're still complex individuals that not every demon can latch onto. You might say that they each have a typing, and so do the demons, which means you need to use the contrary typing to take away their defenses and do extra damage. Like some other obscure game that I can't put my finger on. At least Viktor's no slouch and is both a skilled boxer and marksman in addition to being able to take bullets to the gut and repeated blows to the fucking face. Seriously, he looks like the malnourished cousin of our favorite vamp boy, Jonathan Reid. Also, side note, in a world where everyone accepts that magic is real and demons are real, why in the batshit nut bagels would you ever pick a fight with Viktor, who openly identifies as a demon wizard? Hey, that guy has one of those magic books that lets him control demons. Let's fuck him up. But this isn't your only bread and butter, since you've also got a side job as a therapist detective. People always have problems and leave traces on random garbage scattered about, and demons be damned if you're not going to scour every inch of the city to find them all. It's not like the police are of any use since they use the deduction method of whoever happens to be closest to the crime scene at the time of us getting there must be the criminal. And when you aren't solving crimes, you're listening to random sob stories that can only be resolved by digging up dirt on people and events. Still, it's worth the run around since you'll level up fast, which will allow you to make Viktor a more well-adjusted wizard celebrity with a more well-behaved demon entourage. As many of the logical issues there are that you might share with me on this game, it does have a weird way of pulling you in, like how you imagine the story will pull reasons to get a demon involved out of its ass. But it's still compelling enough that you want to see all the demons, you want to unleash all their powers, and you want to see what unexpected missions you can come across, to see what weird and troubling things people have to say. Even so, with all the talking you'll be doing, getting to spend time with the more interesting demons that actually keep their mouths shut will be a welcome reprieve.